Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Clint Eastwood, Great Actor and an Even Greater Businessman. Why has Clint Eastwood been such a great actor and brilliant businessman for more than half a century? We'll tell you about that in just a minute. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as tell you that the show is sponsored by Hollywood is Calling. .com. It's a company which allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase the call for $19.95, a 15-second call, or you can purchase a live 30-second call for $29.95 from your favorite movie star. So give it a try. It's a great gift for yourself or for somebody you care about. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's get started. For those of you who don't already know, then you should know that the entertainment industry is like this gigantic steamroller designed to crush and destroy the dreams of 99% of the people who pursue it. But every once in a while, a human being possesses a certain quality or a characteristic or a look that allows them to somehow stand up to this enormous soul-crushing machine and achieve some incredible and mythological things. When that happens and it's displayed on movie theaters or on television screens, then it's so impressive that it inspires countless other souls to believe that they too can become rich and famous and do something special. So what do? They pursue their careers in show business too. And that is how the Hollywood dream machine is fueled. It creates this magical flame that attracts the hearts and minds of millions of people who each in their own way believes that they too could be famous if only they had a chance. But guess what? One day a human being comes along that is able to actually achieve greatness. Enter Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood began his career in 1959 on a Western TV show called Rawhide. He was paid approximately $700 per episode, and that was at a time when a lot of people were making $50 a week for a full-time job. So $700 was no trivial amount back then. This show became a hit, and the world took notice. Clint wasn't a superstar yet, but people began to notice and enjoy his work. The door of opportunity was open. Now that door opens for a lot of people, but not everybody appreciates it or capitalizes upon it. And still, even fewer people have the dedication and work ethic that is required to continue making progress under those circumstances. After Rawhide, things slowed down a bit for Clint. So he made a smart business move and decided to go to Italy to make spaghetti westerns. Now, most reasonable people at that time would have assumed that his career was on a downward trajectory and that the game was over. But not Clint. In 1964, he took a salary of $15,000 to appear in an Italian movie called Fistful of Dollars. He took what most people would have thought was a career-ending option, and he helped turn his life around with it. In 1967, he took a salary of $250,000 plus 10% of the profits to appear in a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. When the movie was released, it became a huge hit and made Clint an international star. In 1971, Clint appeared in Dirty Harry. It was the first in a series of 5 Dirty Harry movies that became massive hits and took Clint's career into the stratosphere. The following years were comprised of movies that were successful and some that weren't. But all of that changed in 1992 when Clint directed and produced and starred in a movie called Unforgiven, a massive hit that made more than $100 million at the box office. In 2004, Clint directed and starred in a movie called $1 Million Baby that won an Oscar for Best Film that year. That achievement accomplished several things for Clint. First, it showed the world that he was a bigger star than ever. It also let people know that he was as gifted at directing as he was at starring in movies. In 2014, he directed a movie called American Sniper that was a massive hit and that made more than $500 million at the worldwide box office. In 2018, he acted and directed a movie called The Mule, which grossed $175 million, all while Clint was in his late 80s. Today, Clint is 89 years old. How does he continue to create such well-made movies that do so well financially? It's one thing to create a good movie. It's quite another thing to create a movie that is really, really well done and successful financially. There are a lot of art house movies that are well regarded but don't make a dime. That's not Clint's problem. How is it possible that, given the countless people out there that are, a third of Clint's age, and they can't even make a living in the entertainment industry, how does Clint continue to do so extraordinarily well? We have several theories. Some of them may sound a bit improbable, but I believe that together they may explain how he's able to do it. First, Clint is an extremely private individual and has been all his life. This makes a lot of sense when working in an industry where there are countless people whose careers are made by digging up bad information on celebrities and then using that bad information, that damaging information, to compromise them in some way. I think that by maintaining his privacy, Clint is able to function and continue his life in a Zen-like level of harmony and peace that allow him not to be distracted by all of that nonsense, because it can be so disruptive. The next thing is that Clint is a minimalist. He's a big believer in economy of action. That means that you shouldn't continue wasting your time doing something once you've done it properly. There are countless stories in Hollywood of actors who've appeared in Clint's movies directed by him, and many of them say the same thing. Clint will often shoot a scene with one or two takes and then move on to the next scene. He doesn't reshoot scenes endlessly over and over after each take. He hires actors who are really good, really professional, and highly skilled, and then he shoots the scene and moves on quickly. That's only possible if you've done your preparation and you know what you're doing. When a director has to film a scene over and over, repeating it dozens of times, then something's really wrong. Either the director doesn't know what he wants, the actor is unprofessional, or the film is being produced very badly. All of these problems are born of incompetency. Clint and his production company seem to be very prepared and ready to shoot each scene long before they get there. That translates to getting the job done quickly and inexpensively. Hundreds of millions of dollars a year are wasted in Hollywood simply because people aren't professional, don't really know what they're doing, or their egos are so enormous that they've somehow convinced them that they know more than the people they're working for. The next quality that Clint seems to possess is a complete lack of ego. When you watch him on the screen, it's not his ego that you're seeing. It's his disdain for the enormous egos and stupidity of other people who let their egos run their lives. This egoless behavior helps Clint make both creative and business decisions that seem to serve him very well financially. When Hollywood was creating countless movies about how terrible America was, and Clint sensed that the American people were getting tired of being attacked and hated for their patriotism. So what did he do? This caused him to make a series of movies that glorified the greater patriotic qualities of this nation, and as a result, those movies became tremendous hits. So we know how great of an actor and director he was, but how has he managed to last so long? He appears to be invested very heavily in his healthy lifestyle. In addition to not being a smoker, there are also numerous reports of him being either a vegan or someone who prefers to eat only extremely healthy foods. If you watch some of his most recent interviews, you'll see that even at this advanced age, he's still as sharp as a tack and very good at what he does. He spent a lifetime in the entertainment industry without debasing himself with the kind of drug and alcohol-fueled behavior that has destroyed so many other people in this profession. At the end of the day, I think you simply have to attribute much of his success to hard work, reasonable living, and smart choices. Having said that, I want to thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.